like you said, our conversation right now is very, very serious, but
You're either this, the finance guy, not too nerdy, brilliant. Yeah, they are genius. To become famous from zero. I mean, you either need to sleep with someone, or you must be a bit rich, right? Today in Switzerland, we have Boris with us, who is aiming to professional filming, and I will actually let Boris tell a bit more about himself.
Okay, hello there. So my name is Boris. My origin is from ex-Yugoslavia. I kind of grew up here in Switzerland, and I did my internship in Singapore. When I moved to Singapore, I explored the modeling and acting.
What kind of daily job currently you have?
Oh, I am working in finance banking. So I get a pretty constant amount of like. So when I post a picture, it's pending between 300 to 600 likes. My most liked picture is like 1,000 and something. That was like my Insta stories. I was much more active with Insta stories. Like people really like the stories, and also like when I stopped with the Insta stories, I got a lot of messages like, "Hey, why you're not storying anymore? Like, I really liked your stories." And the most recent collaboration was the shooting in Austria in the Dolomites, and one girl was coming. Yeah, it was like the scenic is amazing in Dolomites. It's really amazing. Usually I'm trying to post like 3 times a week, but this went completely down at the moment. So now I haven't posted for like maybe 2 months. Right now I'm happy if I do one story in 2 weeks. So like right now I'm really sliding.
Now it's in a bit
yeah, it's really my activity on Instagram has really went down, and yeah.
Okay.
And then also you can see it on the followers, like they kind of just stopped, like it's stable 5,500, but it's not moving up.
Yeah, and people they take it sometimes personally in a way because they get used to you.
Yeah.
You're like their friend, they watch you, and then you're like gone. I mean.
Yeah.
But what's the biggest struggle? Is that it does not grow as quick, or what?
Yeah, I think you're like I came to these right now 5,500, and I'm kind of stuck at the 5,500. Like currently it's not growing at all. It's stable around 5,500, and that's it. Like there's no progress at the moment.
So maybe I'll try to tell you some kind of basics just to start, not to go too deep and too far. So about the content and about the promotion. So with the content, I think with the feed, you don't really need. I mean, there are different, of course, approaches. No, but there is no right and wrong. But with the feed, it's not a must that you post really like every day, especially when you're busy, right?
Okay.
And this, and when you posted a photo, did you write some text there? Or?
Yeah, I usually have I have a tagline, and then I usually have like 5 to 6 hashtags on the front page. I would say I enjoy writing the text because I think like this is a way I can bring. How to say, like I can bring my note into like into how I see life, right? So I mean I had this one picture, and then like it was just me standing somewhere and like looking like straight into the camera, and my text was like just me, and that's it, because this really was just me, like I was dancing in the rain in Singapore during the monsoon season, and me and the photographer had so much fun, and then he said like, yeah, let's do a shooting in the rain. And like I was really just dancing in the rain, and it was like pouring down.
Like in a song.
Yeah, like in a song. And he took this amazing shot of me like just in the middle of the rain, and I just loved this photo, and like I really like to write the tagline there, which is like, like it kind of was like, never forget to enjoy life, It doesn't matter what you're doing and where you are, because if you start thinking every day like, yeah, I have to go work, then like
I think
we all have to go work, but like if you start thinking about work like I have to do it, you have to change something in your life, because then like we only have this one life, right? So do not do anything in your life that you just think like, I have to do it.
So coming back to the Instagram story, the content and the promotion. So the content why I asked you about this, if you enjoy writing text, because some people they don't, they just write a few words and it's okay. I mean, because it's useless to tell you to write some text if you don't like it, or if you are not like feeling good when you do this. But one of the approaches is when you post a photo. So many people post photos. There's so many of them. So the photos themselves, they became not so juicy, not so appealing even if it's very professional shooting photo with a lot of meaning inside, still, I mean, people watch hundreds of photos every day, and for them, this photo might attract. I mean, it might be kind of attractor of their attention, and then if they read this post, if you feel comfortable to write something meaningful, just about what you think in life, like it could be like, oh, today I was going to this office, and then what I've thought is that there are so many other people going to the office, and I didn't see happy faces, and just some anything, yeah. This content and promotion is the most important, since if you have a lot of promotion, you even like a lot of paid collaborations, what it does, it just attracts a lot of attention to your channel, to your Instagram channel. But if the content is not appealing, then this attention would be gone. I mean, they would look at once, and then. On the other hand side, if you have a great content with very meaningful text, with cool pictures, with stories, and we talk about in a second, but then nobody can see this. Like if I start right now, if I register on Instagram, and then I really publish an amazing content, there would be like, I don't know, 20 viewers, 5 likes. There would be really like mostly people who would know like me really in person.
Okay.
There wouldn't be too many. So it's both important to have this to attract attention, but then they need a content to be retained. So the stories, I'd say you need several a day, every day, because then the people get used to you, and you're still in your head. We can also talk a bit more about the nature, the content itself. So here there are a few things to mention. The first, it's so-called. I had a tutor on Instagram, a lady actually, Alexandra. She has 2 million subscribers in Russia, and 2 years ago she quit her job, I think, in a radio, and she became like full-time in this. And so she taught me a lot in this. And the highlights I'd like to share just a few things, because there are a lot, and maybe I will, share more. And certainly, if you need, or if people are interested, for sure. But let's just concentrate on some highlights. So first, she calls it cardiogram principle. This the heart rate. Yeah. So it's not like this. It's up and down, and this is a kind of cardiogram of emotions that people feel when they interact with your content. So if it's always like positive, you're always fun, everything is good, you always show yourself from a good side, you're doing well, life is good, then it's good for a while, but then people don't buy it anymore. Okay, I get it. Yeah. And so it's always like this, you're more or less dead, the heart does not beat. And if it's always positive, if it's always like around zero, neutral emotions, let's say you teach them something, you give them very useful content, but it's not neither fun nor sad, then it's a neutral emotion. It's you need this as well, but also if you feel like an hour of lecture, that's just boring. And you will see when we film like for an hour and a half, and then you'll see the result probably would be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and you will see what the editor would choose, and it will be mostly this fun parts. Not only, but mostly. And also the sad ones. Many people avoid this, but it's a part of our life.
It's our nature.
Sometimes to be sad. You lose something, and you can post about this. Or you saw a homeless, and then you think, oh, how can this be in the richest country in Switzerland? And these people got money from the state, but still they're homeless. It makes you sad. It makes you, feel like maybe you're guilty even that you don't kind of support him or didn't give him money, or should you give him money, or maybe you just motivate him to be longer as a homeless. There is no right and wrong, but you can kind of elaborate on this in the video. And the other thing to mention is sharing more about yourself. Even if you had very technical channel. Let's say you teach people about something, or you travel and you show a different place of the world. Still, and this is not so, very few actually bloggers do understand this point, that they think, oh, they come to my Instagram to see the world. They can't travel, I travel, I see, I film the world, they see. Or they come to my Instagram to be taught, how to do business, which is partly true, but they are very, very interested. It's our human nature. Who are you as a person? What kind of life you have? And you don't have to share everything. I mean, you just share what you feel comfortable about. You don't have, if you, let's say, if private life, you are not comfortable, you don't share. You can say something generic, you have a family, that's enough. You might not even mention if you don't like. Or whatever other thing. I mean, health, maybe you are not so willing to share. Or the others would love to share this. But anything that is personal about you, really anything about your childhood, I mean, this cannot be really too, unless it's very emotionally charged, but this cannot be too bad to share, because it's a long time ago. Or, your hobbies, your interests. And for some people, that might sound like, I don't know, like boring or selfish or egoistic, but it's not. Even if it's only about this, it's still not, because people are watching you, they're interested who you are, what you think about this world, and then you also, by doing this, you become more natural. They kind of trust you. You become one of them, because if you see these Instagram channels with like stars who are always, I don't know, drunk with champagne, traveling in yachts, it's fun to watch from time to time, and be impressed, but I mean,
it's not real life.
It's not real life, and you understand it. I mean,
it's not what we go through daily. In life.
At the back of your brain, you understand this is okay, a yacht, but it might not be true that this person spends all his whole life on a yacht. So you need to show yourself. Let's talking about what to show in this stories. Your face for sure, better daily, but also something you see as, because we live in Switzerland. I mean, it's a beautiful country. It was my dream to move to Switzerland. I did move a year ago. It was I'm still impressed. I mean, some weekends I go to the mountains. Like tomorrow I drive to the Alps. I mean, but even the cities, I mean, they are amazing. I mean, for people who live in the States, where you have to drive everywhere, where you cannot
and here
walk
everything
much.
is reachable.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot to film, and also some other people. Not everyone. I mean, many people would feel uncomfortable, but I'm sure that some of the people they would feel comfortable, and then you show the others, and the people would read their emotions. They kind of see what kind of people you hang out with. This is important. Not always like yourself, or not always just the streets.
Like your
just to combine.
People around you. Okay.
So if you do this, that's already like sufficient. I mean, you can always do better, you can always do more, but in the beginning, it's just to get a momentum. This is sufficient. Publish some posts once a week, or even once in 2 weeks with some meaningful text. Have some stories, best on a daily basis. Some with your face, some with streets. Sometimes, occasionally, with people you hang out, and share more about yourself, and not only positive or negative or neutral, but all sorts. Yeah. With this, it's easy to remember now. Yeah, with this kind of image. Yeah. So this would make your channel kind of quality one. So these collaborations, you don't need to like go on Google for these bloggers. There are these internet sites, the kind of marketplaces. There are many of them for free, for cheap. It's just important to take a moment to research the audience, and there are also online services that show you what kind of audience the blogger. You don't need to go yourself to see who is, like, let's say, who liked the post of the blogger, or who commented, and then go back to the profile of commenters to see if they're younger or which country. There are these online services that just you put somebody's profile name in Instagram, and they tell you, they have like 60% of their subscribers were like bot, they're not real people. Or you have the demographics, so and so percentage of this age and their geography, everything. They show you it's easy, and then you can just pick up those. the easiest way is just to start at least, because when the blogger is a bit similar to you, kind of a man, a younger one, as you say, you joke a lot, so he's humorous. He talks about life and at least this kind of thing, and with a bit similar demographics that because you already have some statistics now, you can understand a bit what kind of people watch you, and to compare. Because in the future, of course, you can experiment with different types of audiences to attract another type of audience, but just to start, it's good really to match.
Some things you said actually were really helpful, and I definitely would like to get more hints on, like you said, but like we cropped it down to 3, like hints, 3 points. But I'd like to get more of these helpful advices. So I mean, the cardio definitely, like it really it's in my brain now. But it's a fact, it's like real life. No human can handle like same day every day, like we need that cardio. That's our nature. That's how.
Thank you very much, Boris. Let's do a handshake for our viewers, and see you next time. Basically, it's just like this.
Bye then.